Hey guys, welcome in. We're going to pretend that I didn't forget to record an intro. I'm April Honey and I'm bringing you another tutorial. This is a continuation of my last tutorial. If you haven't seen it, I will go ahead and put it down in the description. You need it in order to know how to make the actual stone piece that goes in the center. Next, we're going to be adding leaves and like curbsides and sidewalks, and we're turning this into a springtime city street with leaves on the streets. And I really love how it came out, you guys. If you were my members, you saw like a screenshot of this. I gave you guys a sneak peek of this code, and I love how it came out. So the only thing we're doing right here is we're just kind of making leaves and strewing them across the streets. We do figure out an easier, faster way to do this. I just take the 1 and 2 piece tile and just stagger them. So it's like I take the 4 square and I put one and then another one, like one space off below and to the side, and it kind of looks like a leaf, and then I shade it from there. So, and then I'm looking in my canvas to make sure that there's like some discernible leaves. It's gonna look basically green, but I want there to look like there's some leaves in there so that it kind of looks like, leaves that fell on the city street basically and got swept off to the side from the cars riding over the cobblestone roads, or the horse and buggies, or whatever your island theme is, you know what I mean. Anyways, later on, I came in and I made that curb a little bit shorter. We needed it to be a 3 and not a 6. This path is heavily inspired by Colin Crossing, the god of like city roads. And I don't have access, obviously, to his pixel art. He's amazing. If you want to download his codes, I'll link his Instagram in the description below. But if you've used his paths, you know they are like tile heavy. This is a tile heavy code. It is 26 pieces when it's all said and done. You could leave off the curb and just do the leaves around the side to make it smaller if you'd like. And then you wouldn't need the extra curb pieces at the end for the sidewalk. And that would make it quite a bit smaller. I think it would take away like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 pieces. So it would make it a 20-piece path instead of a 26-piece path. And I'm so sorry for my voice. It's still not 100%, but we're getting there and we're feeling a little bit better. I just wanted to make sure that I got this video out. I loved this path so much and I wanted to get it to you guys. So I'm just working with what I've got here. At this point, I think you get the gist of what we're doing. We're making a bunch of fallen leaves. We're shading them. We're making sure that in the canvas next to it, it looks like a curb dropping down and city leaves, like leaves on the street. We want to just make sure that it stays that way. The good thing about making the straight pieces is that you can just copy and paste to use the corner pieces. And that's a fun little shortcut because it makes this go a lot faster. This code is a lot faster and easier to use. That centerpiece right there, it can be brick. It can be a city street. It could be anything that you want it to be. It does not have to be cobblestone. I chose cobblestone because the last path I made was stone, so I just kind of wanted the cobblestone to continue. But there we go. Like, we could make it anything we want and it would look super, super cute. So we're just going to go around and do all of these sides along the edges. We're going to add all of the details in. Along the bottom, we're not going to extend that or anything like that because obviously it's where the curb is going to be lifted from the angle that we're looking at. We want to respect the angle of the camera. Like, pretend we're looking at this through a camera lens, right? And we want to see the street when it's laid out at a certain angle, and we want all of those pieces to reflect the same angle. We don't want to make drop downs on every side because then that will not create the same kind of cohesive photo. So we want to make sure that we're respecting the cohesion of it all. So I'm going to let you watch me do the rest of these, and I'm going to save my voice just a little bit. I don't think I have anything really to add except to make sure you're drawing your leaves and just layer them. Don't forget to put leaves on top of leaves. It looks fine. It comes out in the end. It might look like a blob on your pixel art. Just make sure it's looking decent on your canvas, because it'll throw you, it'll throw you off a little bit. Just make sure you don't get thrown off your game by how messy it looks in the pixel art. And then remember your shading, shadow underneath all of your leaves. Make it look like there's some discernible leaves, which is always nice. And then fill in with the darkest green on the bottom, like if they're the shadows, the ones way on the bottom of the pile. And it'll come out beautiful. As always, my pixel art will be shared in the Discord, so if you want to just copy what I did and not really have to think about it yourself, it'll be in the Discord under hard mode, creator code art, something like that. I don't know. It's an announcement channel. You can't write in it, but it says custom codes, and all of my pixel art will be in there. Okay, moving right along, every city road is going to need a sidewalk, correct? So we're just going to pick a color out of all of those colors, and we're going to make our sidewalk. It's just going to be your basic plain sidewalk tile piece. There's going to be a drop shadow and a highlight area, and then we're just going to shade it in, like if it's a city street. And then I use that yellowy kind of color to add some life and texture to it. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the drop curb for the front of it, and then we're going to make the diagonal city streets. And so this is why I dropped it down to a 3-piece curb, because it just looked better on this area of it all. And I didn't want to have to make too many more pieces to connect everything. Otherwise, it would have been even more piece heavy in this, and I didn't want to do that. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and roll along with this number of pieces. We're just shadowing off our sidewalk portion of it. And the reason I went with the road code and not the sidewalk to cut off is because the sidewalk is much easier to make than the road. So we want to make this easy on ourselves, as easy as possible. It's much easier to take a corner piece and draw over that and then just make some extra leaves after you make a diagonal sidewalk piece. Make sure that on the straight edges, the top, like this one is the top and the left, those have highlights along the edges. On the right side, it's going to be one highlight and one shadow. So make sure that you're kind of going with the same piece, like highlight shadow pattern that you're going with in your base piece. So the sun is still in the same place. We still want everything to be very cohesive. You guys will have to let me know what you think of this code when we are finished. I really love how it came out. It's actually one of my favorites. I'm not using it on my island currently, but I am going to make a version of it in my next island. And I will be using it or something like it in another island in the future. I'm going to make sure that I save a few variations of this island under my creator code, which I'll also put in the description, just to make sure that I have the ability to download this code and save it for myself or use it later without having to recreate it. I do that often. When I make codes, I'll make a code and I'll think it's great. So I'll make a few variations, a few colors. I'll probably do some snow and some fall leaves and maybe some cherry blossoms and save them in some various color schemes. And that way I have just a variety to choose from when I come back to it later. It's always a good idea to do stuff like that if you're into making codes. I do recommend doing that. It works out really nicely. So on this bottom piece, it's a bottom left piece, so there's going to be a shadow on both sides, and I will go ahead and finish this up, and I'll be back with you in just a couple of minutes. Next, we're going to be doing the corner pieces, and all I'm going to say about this one is less is more. I did come out a little bit too far the very first time I tried it. So make sure you understand that this is just a little corner piece. There's only going to be a few leaves on it. It's going to fit in with the rest of the puzzle and it'll be great. On the bottom corners, we don't need to add any type of curb or anything like that. It's just a few leaves. On the top though, we do need to make sure that we're paying attention to those three spaces, like those three spaces right there, and that we're drawing the leaves around that so that it fits together with that top piece. We want to make sure that it's cohesive and they connect together, especially for when you're doing a diagonal road, because you know we have to have diagonal roads when we're doing this. How else are we going to make the cul-de-sacs of our dreams, right? So yes, make sure that you're doing that little dropped curb piece and you know that it fits in with the rest of your path. lay it out together. I do that all the time when I'm making a path. I will lay it out in front of me, and then I will just one by one make each piece kind of turn into what I need it to. And then in order to go with that, so you don't have some blocky little pieces on the side, we have to do the empty curb, sided curb, which is pretty easy. You just delete one side of the curb. It's pretty much a no-brainer, and then you make whatever shadow or highlight is appropriate. And then on the bottoms, we are using the dropped curb, so we want to look at it from one view. We're making sure that we're respecting the one view we're looking at it from, and we want everything to kind of fit in together. So however you feel you need to make it happen. Now we're just going to make these tiny bottom curb pieces. Oh my goodness, they're so small. And there we go. There we have it. We are all done. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed this path, at least almost as much as I enjoyed making it. In the next stone path tutorial continuation, we're going to be making loose stones and single tile pieces for the more natural pathing. Look at Grizzly. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Anyways, I hope you're all having an amazing day. I know you guys could be doing absolutely anything, and you chose to hang out here with me. I appreciate you so much for that, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.